Welcome back. I'm Jeff Seaton. This is Jeff Seaton Lawn Care. In today's video, I'm going to talk about common issues that come up after you've overseeded your lawn and how to handle those issues. The first issue that comes up that I get asked about an awful lot, particularly in fall overseedings, is how do you handle leaves on a newly seeded lawn, or a lawn where the grass, the new seedlings have just started to pop up. So how do you take care of those leaves without disturbing either the seed or the young grass seedlings, I suppose, as they pop up? See, this is a newly seeded area of the front of my lawn. See this area. I had a little bit of bent grass there, and I cut that section out. Actually, I cut a larger section than that. I went down multiple inches, removed all of the roots, and reseeded. So how do I take care of removing these leaves without potentially damaging the new shoots, the new grass popping up? Of course, there's multiple ways to remove leaves from your grass, but in this situation, raking is not your best option. Your best option is a leaf blower, and you don't want to blow directly down onto the soil. You want to use your leaf blower on a lower setting. So this comes with your standard and a turbo. I won't be using the turbo setting, just the standard setting. I'm going to blow at an angle, at a very, very reduced angle, just moving the leaves lightly off of that area. I'm going to blow these leaves into an area that I haven't overseeded, and if I've overseeded an entire lawn, I might blow them onto the street and clean them up from there. In this situation, I'm going to blow them over curbside, and I'll clean them up curbside. I generally mulch leaves this time of the year. Those leaves will break down really quickly and actually feed my lawn. But in this situation where I have multiple areas that I've overseeded, I'm going to bag those, and we're going to get rid of those today. Another common question is, when do you actually cut that grass now that it's started to grow? This, you can see my grass has come up quite well. I'm at about 3.5 inches there. This area gets an awful lot of sun. That seed germinated relatively quickly, and it is almost ready to cut. Now you can see in this area, this is the existing grass here. That's quite tall, but down along here is the new grass, and that new grass is about 4 inches tall. That's the height that you want to be cutting your new grass. You don't want to be cutting when your existing grass is 4 inches. You want to cut when your new grass is 4 inches. If your new grass is 4 inches and it's the only grass growth that you have there, then you're going to take that grass, you're going to cut it down to 3 inches. You'll let it grow up to 4 inches again. You'll cut it down again. You'll do that 3 times in total, and then that grass will be established. If your existing grass has outpaced the new grass, let that existing grass grow. When you go to cut, you'll cut on your highest level. A few days later, you'll probably be back and get to cut the new grass at its 3 inch level. But understand, different areas using the exact same grass seed will grow at different rates. So this is at 4 inches and it needs to be cut. This is at 3 inches and it'll need a couple more days before it needs to be cut. This area gets less sun. The grass is about 2.5 inches. and I'll probably be another 5 days before I cut this. And this section gets the least amount of sun. I'm just under 2 inches there, and I'll be waiting another week before I'm putting the first cut onto this. So I was saying, the existing grass is about 6 inches. The new seed is about 4, maybe 4.5. I'm gonna cut that existing grass down by 1/3, and then next cut, I'll be cutting it down by 1/3 again, letting the existing grass grow up to 4 inches and cutting it back down. So the question I get an awful lot around the first cut is, should you mulch or should you bag? And truthfully, I generally mulch in every situation, unless the grass, the current grass, the existing grass is so high that it's going to cause it to clump and mat down on top of the new grass. You don't want that. So in this situation, I will be mulching, but if I had to, I would be bagging and getting rid of that grass. As you can see here, there are a few weeds that have come up since I started. Maybe you've seen this section of my lawn before where I had killed off some crabgrass, and that's why I was overseeding this section. When do you start applying a herbicide? I will tell you, you're going to read many different things. My general rule, and the safest rule that I follow, is you do not use a herbicide on new grass seed until it has time to be established. That means 4 cuts, allowing your grass to grow up to 4 inches, cutting it down to 3, repeating 3 more times so that you're getting 4 full cuts on that grass. And once you do, that grass is established and you can apply a herbicide. So now I got a cut down, and a common question is, when do I apply a fertilizer? I'm hoping that you use the starter fertilizer. If you've watched any of my previous videos, you'll know that I'm always recommending using a starter fertilizer. So whether your grass looks like this, it looks like this, or it looks like this, the application time is exactly the same. It doesn't matter if you had good growth, sparse growth, it's very dense, it makes no difference at all. What matters is the length of time since you've put down your starter fertilizer. That starter fertilizer is active in your soil for 30 days. So after you've put down your first application, 30 days later, you're adding a second application. It can be at that point a starter fertilizer or a slow release fertilizer. And the last piece on this is watering. When do you stop watering the new grass? You should have been watering enough to keep those seeds moist, so 2, maybe 3 times a day. If you've added peat moss, you're just watering enough so the peat moss is wet. That peat moss will hold water even though the top looks dry. When your grass has reached 4 inches and you've cut it once, I will then dial it back to a maximum of 2 waterings a day until my next cut. From there, I'm watering once a day for my next 2 cuts. And at that point forward, I'm strictly watering 1.5, 1.25 inches every 7 days. I'm watering longer, I'm watering deeper, I'm watering less frequently. And that's all there is for this video. I appreciate the time you've taken to watch it. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, you can do that now. I'd appreciate it. And also like and share it as well. As you can see behind me, I have some work to do, so it's time for me to get to work.